Hi, and welcome to Living in El Paso, Texas. My name is John Peña, and in this video, we're going to talk about investing in El Paso, Texas. Hi, my name is John Peña. I'm a real estate agent with eXp here in lovely El Paso, Texas, and this channel is all about El Paso, eat, sleep, work, play. If that's the kind of information that you're interested in, please consider sharing these videos with somebody that you think might find them interesting. That's actually a great way to kind of help us out, build a little momentum. And if you're thinking about relocating or investing in El Paso or selling your home in El Paso, by all means, please reach out to me at the information on the screen. I would love to help you and your family meet any of the real estate needs that you need. So, in this episode, we're going to talk about investing in El Paso. And this isn't a topic that I've talked about a lot yet, but more and more people are reaching out to me and seeing that El Paso has a lot of great things going for it, and it has a lot of great things going for it for investors. And so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of jump into what some of those things are. And number one is geography. Where we are located, we are somewhat limited in our expansion, and we are somewhat geographically isolated. And so what this means is that essentially, a perfect example is when my wife and I were thinking about relocating to the Southwest. We flew into Austin from Florida, we rented a car, and we were gonna go check out Tucson. We thought, maybe Tucson would be the place to go. Between Austin and Tucson, there isn't much. What there is El Paso, right? So along Interstate 10 there, along all of that West Texas, there's not a lot there. So we ended up staying in El Paso. We were like, hey, this seems really nice. We went to Tucson, decided that wasn't gonna be the place for us. We ended up coming back a month or so later to El Paso, checked it out, and that's all it took for us. So other people are in that similar situation. It's the closest bigger city is 4 hours. Albuquerque is a 4-hour drive, and Albuquerque isn't all that huge. Tucson about 4.5 hours. And so I think this also speaks kind of to why the Amazon distribution center decided to locate in El Paso, is because we're on that I-10 corridor where a lot of goods and services go by. And so El Paso, for a lot of people, is a stopping point, right? Because there's not a lot around us. And so I think that's one reason why El Paso is sort of an up-and-coming place, right? Because we don't have a lot of competition. And yeah, tons of people are moving to Austin, tons of people are moving to Dallas, San Antonio, but those cities are very, very far east of El Paso. So for those folks that are looking to kind of retain some of that kind of Western feel, El Paso is a pretty darn good bet. So, number two, why would people come here? So if you're an investor and you're thinking about purchasing property, whether it's a single family for a long-term rental, whether it's multifamily, whether it's apartment buildings, what have you, why would people come here? So I'll tell you why people come here. One is Fort Bliss. Fort Bliss is one of the largest military bases in the country, and every couple of years new people get rotated in and out of our market. This is a huge boom and a huge asset for El Paso, because it essentially guarantees that we're going to have a strong and viable rental market, that there's going to always be a new influx of demand, because a lot of the military families that move here want to buy homes, and I help a ton of those folks do just that. But a lot of them don't want to buy a home and then in 3 years end up shipping out, and then they have to sell a home. So what do? Especially if they have a family, they look for a long-term rental, and most of them do rent a home. So like I said, we're talking thousands and thousands of people that are constantly recirculating through the city. Fantastic opportunity as far as tenants that are continually coming in. It's almost a guaranteed supply of tenants, right? Other reasons why people might come here. Now this speaks more to short-term rentals. Why would you maybe think of buying an investment property here and doing a short-term rental on it? Tons of people come here for sports, right? We've got the Chihuahuas, minor league baseball team. We've got the Locomotive, it's an American professional soccer team. We've got UTEP here, the Sun Bowl, right? So in addition to sports, entertainment. This is one of the places in the Southwest, in our little pocket of the world, where you can still actually go and see a big concert. We have the Don Haskins Center downtown. We have tons of music festivals that draw tons of people. So entertainment and leisure. We've got a new children's museum that's opening up. We've got a zoo, we've got water parks. We've got people that travel here to do off-road activities, right? So there are a lot of things that bring people here for a short period of time. Maybe they stay in an Airbnb for a couple of days, check out whatever it is they came to check out, and then they're back off to their home. Another reason why people come to to El Paso is because of Juarez. I get tons of people that either grew up in Juarez or they grew up in El Paso and they have family that's still in Juarez. And so we get tons of people that actually come to El Paso, stay in an Airbnb for a while, and then go into Juarez to see family, right? So people are continually coming into El Paso, both on the short-term side and on the long-term side. So here's some other reasons for investors why you might consider El Paso as a place to put some of your money. Cheap real estate. I get these folks that are moving in from California and they see a property that's nice for $200,000 and they can't even believe it. So right now, our cost of real estate is very, very low, even, dare I say, at the height of this kind of crazy seller's market. Another reason, the demographics are great here, right? Our median age is 33. That 33-year-old person is probably a Hispanic family with a number of kids, right? And so these folks, a lot of these folks may not necessarily be in a position yet where they're ready to buy a home, but they have a growing family, and so they are looking to rent homes, right? So that's our median age. So, you know, there's a lot of those potential tenants out there for you. Number 5, strong job market. Again, I guarantee in the comments, some people are that are locally from El Paso are gonna be like, are you kidding me? The job market stinks. The job market doesn't stink. We have a strong, growing job market. The job market only stinks if you're an unskilled laborer and you're competing with all the other unskilled laborers for, low-level service and retail jobs. If you're in law enforcement, if you're in healthcare, if you're in transportation, if you're in education, the job market is great here. So obviously, if you're an investor, you want to put your money into a place where you know that people are not only coming to live, that it's a desirable area, but people are finding good jobs so that they can pay their rent to you, right? Sizable student market. UTEP, we have a number of healthcare and medical universities. Our community colleges are fantastic, and so we have tons of students. And of course, students are always looking for housing as well. We have lots of redevelopment happening. If you're an investor, you most likely want to invest in some place that is up and coming. You want to get in early and establish yourself, and you want to know that the city that you're investing in is up and coming. And El Paso is just that. Up and coming means that not only are new people coming in, not only is the job market strong, not only are there activities for people to do, but there's a lot of redevelopment happening. One example of this, San Jacinto Plaza in downtown, recently renovated. We have a brand new high-rise building in downtown, the West Star building. We're having these kind of what people are calling these new urban style centers, right? So these kind of work-play mixed development areas. The point is that the city is growing. There's a lot of cities out there that are dying, unfortunately. That's not the case here. El Paso is a growing, flourishing city. And finally, specifically for investors, Texas remains a pretty landlord-friendly state. And so what I mean by that is, of course, we have no income no income state tax, but that can be offset by some of our higher property taxes. However, for the landlord in Texas, it's a little more friendly. So landlords can evict tenants that aren't in compliance, whereas in other states, that's not so much the case. In Texas, it lets you enter your own agreements on how you're going to handle repairs, such as seeking your own limit beyond which you'll reimburse the tenant or deduct the repairs from rent. So you have some flexibility in how you handle some of the different issues that might come up with your tenants, whereas in other states, you may not have that flexibility. It may be a more rigid or more tenant-friendly state. So, as an investor, you want to focus on markets with relatively high population and unemployment and employment growth, right? So higher population, employment growth. These two factors essentially speak very well to the idea that you're going to always be able to find tenants who are consistent on their rent. And that is exactly where El Paso is right now, right? We have our population is growing. Again, I've said it probably 3, 4, 5 times now. El Paso is one of these up and coming cities. I of course don't want to compare it to other cities. Of course, I have no actual knowledge that this will happen, but the trends tend to suggest that more and more people are coming to our city because they're drawn to many of the items that I already related and talked about. But in addition, affordability, weather, community. I will tell people all the time, El Paso is one of the friendliest cities that you will probably ever come to. So El Paso has a ton going for it. So I did want to mention just a little bit of the short-term rental game because I actually find this game a little bit more interesting, and I found some data from a website called AirDNA, and they ranked El Paso as follows. They gave us a rental demand, short-term rental demand. They gave us a score of 91 out of 100. They said the average short-term daily rate was about $93. The occupancy rate at the high season of short-term rentals in July was about 84% occupancy rate. At the low point in January, 58%, giving us an average occupancy rate of 69%, okay? The growth, how that short-term market has grown, in Q1 of 2018, there were about 401 active short-term rentals. In Q1 of this year, 2021, there were 1,032. Finally, our Airbnb ratings, 4.77 out of 5. So there are already folks here who are in this game, and I've talked to a lot of investors. Like I said, because of this YouTube channel, I get a lot of you reaching out to me, and I'm always fascinated by your stories. I'm always fascinated by how you found us and what your draw to El Paso is. And of course, that right now is probably not the time to invest, right? Because the idea of investing is to invest when prices are low, right? Right now, prices are not low. Right now, prices are on the higher side, right? Because of the market that we find ourselves in March of 2021. However, you also know that real estate is a roller coaster, and while we may be up here, it's going to balance out and it's going to come down. Eviction moratoriums and forbearance, that can only last so long. There is going to come a moment in the future where we see a flood of foreclosures enter into the market, and if you're a cash investor, that's going to be an opportunity to invest in some unbelievable properties in El Paso and get your foot into the door, because I think this is a door that a lot of you should consider getting your foot into. And speaking to that, I would certainly love to be a part of that, and because of that, we are asking investors, if you are so inclined, we are going to start an investor list. We are going to keep and maintain this list, And when our market starts to transition to a more favorable state for investors, we're going to make sure that those people that are on that investor list are the first ones who start to see the opportunities, the available properties, the foreclosures that come on the market, and we intend to be your eyes and ears on the ground to help you make the best choices for you and your family and you and your investment portfolio. So, if you are at all interested in investing in El Paso, I would encourage you to send me your name and your email to my email, john@penaelpasos, right on the screen here. If you want to take it a step further, by all means reach out to me, give me a phone call. If in your email you want to include, any information about you, maybe specifically what you're looking for, what your budget and or timeline might be, that would be very welcomed information. And that's really about it. I feel great about El Paso. I've been fortunate enough to drum up a lot of business from this YouTube channel, and so now as the channel grows, we're looking for ways to leverage our growth and put ourselves in a position where we can help the most people, right? Because this is a business to me. I love El Paso, and I'll talk till I'm blue in the face about how great it is, but when it boils down to it, this is a business for me, and we intend to be the best real estate service that is caters to relocating buyers and caters to investors, while we also start to build up our own personal listings of homes of people that are choosing to sell in El Paso. So thank you so much. I know this one probably wasn't of interest to everybody who watches the channel, but I think the video needed to be made because there is a significant opportunity for investors to get into this market while things are still, our average median home price is still below $190,000, and that's a nice house. That's not a shack in the worst part of town. That's a really nice house over in Horizon City where there are unbelievable schools, right? And so we do believe that this is an up-and-coming market, not only for relocating buyers, but for investors who want to get the most out of their money and get their feet wet in good old Texas. So if that's something that you're interested in, again, please consider sending us your email, your name, maybe what you're looking for. We'll put you on that list, and we will routinely check in with you and send you value-added information. We're not going to drop spam on you or any of that garbage. We're only going to deliver the highest content and the most value that we possibly can. And with that, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.